timing. Okay, I'll share a quick story about timing that I found was pretty interesting. When I first worked at Airbnb, there was this guy that came up to me. His name was Tommy. And Tommy had heard a pretty interesting story about Airbnb. So the idea of Airbnb at the time was very crazy. Why would you stay in a stranger's home? What would make you feel safe booking and staying in a person's home that you never had heard about? And so Tommy said to me that the main problem with getting that type of marketplace was about trust, that people don't trust strangers. So how did Airbnb actually solve this? The answer is Airbnb didn't really solve it at all. The the solution was actually this. The solution was Facebook, because when you signed up for an Airbnb account, they would ask you for your Facebook in order to verify your ability to host. Now, based on your Facebook profile, what Airbnb could determine was your trustworthiness, because a Facebook profile isn't like an email. It takes years to build up your friend network. It takes years to build up all the components of a successful Facebook profile. So by looking at a Facebook profile, you have a pretty good handle on somebody's identity. Okay, and that's what made Airbnb successful, is because that particular Airbnb, if it happened before Facebook, probably would have never succeeded. Okay, so why am I telling you guys this? It's really just about this topic of timing. And today, Tendi, what we're going to focus on today is about how to perfect timing and thinking about how to do timing with a good tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our PR calendar right now. And Bila, let's take a look at our current PR calendar and ask ourselves how our current PR calendar can be improved. Okay, so this is the first issue I see with the PR calendar right here. Let's go and talk about possible improvements. Tendi, what do you see as being something that could be immediately improved in this PR calendar?
Uh, this is the PR calendar. Uh, 1, 2, 3. Uh, I don't know how to read this, sir.
Okay,
Usually I use the
right.
schedule.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
the
It's hard
schedule
to read
format.
because it has these bands that go across multiple months.
Yeah,
You see the UE internship, it goes across almost 5 weeks, right? Same with the PSB Academy internship. And the it just stretches on forever and ever and ever. Okay. So Bila, this is the first thing I think that we can do to improve it. In order to understand how to get timing better, we need to prioritize when. Okay. Because right now, this calendar doesn't tell us when we need to take action in order to be part of the UE internship, right? So I would say this. I would say if the UE internship starts somewhere around what? Uh, from this calendar, it looks like on December 26th. I don't know if it began earlier than that. Oh, okay, to start on December 1st. Then when should we start getting involved in contacting or approaching or distributing to UE? The
Um,
question is to Bila.
probably, yeah, probably it's like a month or 2 months before that.
Yes, correct, right? So the idea behind that is this current calendar shows us when the activity is happening, but it doesn't show when we need to be prepared for it. So the correct way I think to actually do this is this: that on November 1st, you put a event says prepare distribution materials for UE, contact this person, and so on and so forth. Right? That's the correct timing of this. Okay, so that's what I mean right now. Let's try to do this now, Bila. Let's try to look ahead at the next month. Okay, so we're in January. Let's look ahead in the next month. What are the opportunities that are happening in the next month? Okay, let's go back to January 2022. Okay, let's see what is on our calendar for January 2022. So please skip ahead 2 months and skip ahead again to January. Okay, great. So back to January, please. Okay, here's a few questions we should ask. One, is it too late to get involved in the ETS internship? Bila.
No,
Oh, okay. All right. So then,
actually,
okay,
oh
go ahead.
yeah, actually, I asked the ETS people, and they say that they still can like register for internship. So I guess it's still okay. But for UI, it's kind of too late. I already asked them, and then they're already in the period. So all of the people already got the company and the intern itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the UI internship program get replaced by MBKM?
Can what?
Did the UI internship get replaced by
Sorry,
MBKM?
can you repeat again? Sorry, I think
Okay. Did the UI internship get replaced by
UI.
MBKM?
Oh no.
No, it's separate. Yeah?
Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah, I believe that some faculty get replaced with MBKM, but some of them are not.
Okay.
Like Vokasi, they don't use MBKM for their internship. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, great. So that then sounds like to me, Bila, that it's an opportunity that's passed, right? So there's no more UI opportunities because internships for UI have already begun. Okay, so this is where the calendar failed us. Do you see, Bila, right? Because it tells us when the program begins, but it doesn't tell us when we need to take action to actually get into the program. Okay, so the way to redesign this PR calendar is to have the action on maybe November or October, right? Then that would be the correct timing for how to get into this internship. So right now we have the timing for when the internship happens. We don't have the timing for when we should prepare for getting into the internship. Okay, that's for everyone here. That's probably like this, right? You need to take entrance exams before you go to university. So if you don't have the calendar for when the exams are, you just have the calendar for when school starts, and you're like, school starts, but oh crap, I totally forgot that there was a test to get into school. Then that calendar didn't serve you well. So that's one improvement that we can make right now in this particular calendar, which is to mark the dates there. Okay, let me delegate this over to, let's say, Cindy, please, right? Cindy, could you pick a date, let's say, let's go to Bila first, right? Bila, when do you want to pick a date for next year? For when should we start taking action to prepare for the January UI internship?
I think that will be this year, right? If the internship on January, it means that on November,
Okay,
probably, yeah.
excellent. This is what I want Cindy to do. Cindy, can you go and open the PR calendar? Okay. And what I want you to do is to mark on November 1st, right? November 1st, we need to contact UI to get distribution for the UI School of Advocacy internship program. Okay. Because that is, and make that a repeating event every year, Cindy, so that anybody who looks at the PR calendar, they will see on November 1st that this is what they need to do. Okay. Cindy will work on that, and then we'll check on.
But sometimes the timing change.
Oh, interesting. Let's go to Bila. Bila, is that correct? Does the timing change every year?
Yeah.
Okay. How much does this change?
It's not.
Oops.
Who Ryan, and then he said that yeah, like every faculty has different timeline for apa
Excellent.
namanya exam, and then sometimes it can also change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what we need now, Bila, is better information, right? We need more specific information about what faculty needs what timing. Okay. So that's what makes the PR calendar more useful. We don't want to waste time by looking at the calendar and not knowing if today is the start date. So what I would do is this then. Let's compromise. Okay, not having any start date is worse than having some start date, but having the best start date for which program is the best solution. So let's start on this then. Bila, would you believe that, let's say, by October 15th, contacting UI is a good beginning to figure out when the start dates for each of their internship programs are?
Yeah, I think we can start contacting them by also confirming to them as
Okay.
well. Like, yeah.
Okay, let's then do that, Cindy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move the window back 15 days to October 15th, okay? October 15th, we're going to contact UE every year, right, from now on, and ask them about when their internship programs begin for January of the next year. So that way we will always have good timing for UE internship programs, okay? So please make a note of that. And I think we already have UE's contact information on the PR Trello board. So anybody looking at that can simply coordinate on the Trello board and then decide what to do. Okay, so now, Bila, you see that is much more useful, right? So all a future PR person has to do on October 15th is open up their calendar and they say, today I need to do this. This is what is the task at hand, not across a month, not across whatever, but today I need to get this particular thing done. So we've now have locked in our timing forever, and that's good, right? Because that way we won't ever have bad timing for UE again. Okay, that's one example. All right, let's talk about PSB. PSB, same question, Bila. So Cindy, please go ahead and put that in, and then when you finish, give me a thumbs up so that we can inspect.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, already
Oh, okay.
in October 15th.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. All right, Bila, next to PSB Academy, when should we get started with understanding their internship schedules?
I think it's around the same time, right, with UE. So
Okay.
I guess like on October would be the same as UE. Yeah.
Okay, Cindy, very easy then. Please, on the same calendar date, also just put in the subject, contact PSB Academy on the same day. Okay, so expand that task on October 15th to UE and PSB Academy. Okay, this is just an example. I'm sure you guys are smart enough to figure out the rest across the entire year, Bila, and then make the appropriate activities before the internship begins. Okay? Okay, so that's done. Now, let's handle what's really important now. Okay? What's really important now is not to look at opportunities that are going to happen 6 months, 12 months from now, is to understand what opportunities are available this month. Okay? So let's take a look at what's happening. Venus final exam is coming on today. What? Is it today? Yeah, today. Oh my God. All right. What does this mean then, Bila, for us? Should we contact Venus and ask them about their internship programs? They have final exams in January. That's weird. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a correct one because I just contact Venus just
Okay.
today actually, and I asked them about their internship, and then they say that yeah, they are on with MBKM, so basically they're going to start the internship at the same time with MBKM.
Okay. Okay, so Venus internships, if they're on MBKM, means we don't need to contact them directly then, okay? So the opportunity has shifted. Listen, everybody who is in the employment, I think we don't need to work so much with career centers anymore, if I'm not mistaken. We just need to work to get our webinars inside the faculty because the career centers are delegating all their internship work to MBKM, right? So they don't take care of the internships. They just ask their students to go to MBKM. But what they still can actually offer us are webinar opportunities or opportunities to speak. So what we need to actually find right now is this. The flow is different now. The flow used to be we would contact the career centers. The career centers would get us listed on their pages, and then interns would find themselves to Bukit Vista through that channel. But now what it seems like is this, right? The career centers delegate to MBKM. We list directly on MBKM. But then the part where we need to work on now is brand awareness. Do people know that they want to apply to Bukit Vista? Is it going to be like the first time they hear about it when they see our listing and the MBKM, or will they have heard us about twice, 3 times, 4 times already from our on-campus activities? Okay, that then becomes the more important focus for what PR does. All right, so let's take a look at that. Let's understand this then, Bila. Let's understand what is the season for webinars. Is there a webinar season? Is there a campus talk season? Bila.
Yeah, so for webinar, I believe that usually like if it's from campus, yeah, it's usually around like on the beginning towards the middle of the school time or
Okay.
academic year,
Okay.
because that's where the student mostly active on their school activity.
Excellent. Okay, great. Cindy, if we approach schools asking to speak at the next webinar about remote work or about the evolving in industry through a pandemic or data science or I don't know, hospitality, do you think it would be easier to get an audience than asking them for interns just without having known them at all?
Yeah, I think it's easier. Moreover, if we have like the guest lecture, then the student will come because it's counted as their class.
Excellent. Okay, great. So let's do this then. What I need then, Bila and Cindy, is this. I need to identify opportunities, let's say in the top 5 schools that we generally recruit from. Okay. So I think it's ITB, UI, UGM, Venus, and I don't know if there's a 5th one. Usually we just go with top 3, right? But let's find out what are the opportunities to do webinars there and start filling out the calendar. Are there any opportunities in the top? Let's just go to top 10, okay? Top 10 schools in Indonesia within. No, wait. Let's not forget we have global presence, right? Okay. Top 3 schools in Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, right? Just within the Southeast Asia area. Vietnam too now, I think, right? As well, Cindy. So let's go top 3 schools in each country. What opportunities for giving a webinar are available in January, okay? And let's try to identify where those slots are and start filling them out. And then for February, then for March. Okay, so we start like kind of pull all these things together. We already have a lot of programs, everyone. We have the BVE Talk, which we have stopped since the number 17th one. I think webinar season and e-talk season is generally the same. So we can start planning, okay, what's the e-talk 18 going to be about? What's the e-talk 19 going to be about? And plan those also into our PR calendar as well. Bila, I think if we host a BVE talk, there should be no problem with getting an audience now. We have like 8,000 applicants from so we could just probably just send a email out to those applicants and say, hey, look, Bukit Vista might not have accepted you for an internship, but please, we still want to share with you great knowledge and possibly transform you on your career. So these are the guest speakers that we're going to invite, right, for the next e-talk. So I think we can start scheduling that, Bila, onto the PR calendar. Where are going to be the next e-talk opportunities? Okay. All right. So that's pretty much the 2 next milestones, everyone who works on the employee funnel. So let's take the PR calendar. Let's look for, I'll give you guys a simple task. Look for 3 opportunities, 3 on Cindy, 3 on Bila in January within the top 3 schools in the region, within the top 3. How many countries do we get interns from? Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, right? Okay, Vietnam. Within top 3 schools of the top 4 countries in Southeast Asia, and just bring that to the next discussion, okay? That will be our follow-up point for this particular topic. Okay, concluded, I think, in the employee squad section. Let's now open the same topic, but now for Tendi. Tendi, do you have a calendar for distribution for the community? Do you have like a guide, or do you have a pathway for what kind of communications you want to release out to the community over the next month?
Not yet, sir, for the advocacy.
Okay. Do you have a content planning calendar that either us or Ross put together when they did communications with the community?
Yes, there is a content calendar.
Okay, got it. All right. Tendi, do you believe that there... Actually, this is a good question, Tendi. I don't know what the answer is, so I'm going to have to rely on your knowledge. Do you think that there's better timing for, let's say, community distribution? Is there a certain time when it's really good for us to put together events, bring speakers, have owners come and participate? Or is any time pretty much a good time?
Yeah, I think usually in the like low season, I think we can make the owner actively
Okay.
like a distribution time. I think on the like December there's a high season. I think most of the owner is busy like buy amenities everything, so mostly they cannot join in the CSS event like that. But I think when in the like November and as like previously September, October, yeah,
Mhm.
mostly they are have time to join.
Okay. let's do this then, Tendi. Do you have a PR calendar that you can use at the moment to plan community relations events?
Not yet. I think I can make it, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's go
start
ahead
to
and
make
do
it.
that then. Tendi, Cindy, let's go ahead and tag Tendi. Oh, wait. Bila, you have the floor, right? Bila, let's go ahead and tag Tendi on this one, okay? So, Tendi, why don't you do this? Plan, how many CSS events do you want to do this year?
Oh, okay. This year, yeah.
This year.
12, I think 20.
That's a lot. That means 2 a month. Do you have that time? Do you have that bandwidth?
This year.
Mhm.
This year, right? For the 2022, right?
Yes.
CSS event. The online event, I think, because the current SLA is 2 per month.
Oh yeah,
Sir.
2 per month.
Yeah.
Are we achieving the SLA currently?
I think for this month we have one, and then I think two. Yeah, I think will be achieved this month too.
Okay. If it's 2 per month, then do you have them put on a calendar? Does everybody know what they should do?
I think from the previous conversation, I think most of the partner is mostly active on the low season. I think it's depend on the what's called in the month as well. So I think we need to arrange.
I think so.
Yeah, like that. So
Okay.
I think the effective. It's like for example, we can take like a 5 month effective for the CSS.
Okay.
So I think it's 10 maximum we can
Okay.
release this.
Yeah, it's about 5 months until peak season again in June. So let's go ahead and put those in. Have you decided your programming for these next 10 community sharing sessions? Do you know who your speakers are going to be? What's the theme? What's the topics? And how will you get people interested to attend these sharing sessions?
Yeah, because currently is Audrey managing the CSSers, and then the next I think she have a one already about the fundraising, and then I think she not have plan yet for the next few months.
Okay, got it. Listen, everybody, this type of work is leadership work, right? So leadership work is two things. One is to provide the correct framework. The framework is your calendar. So what will you do across the entire year? The second is demonstrate a unit design. Show the people that you're trying to lead what a good example of, let's say, a event actually looks like, right? So then they know how to actually fill it in. So you set the framework by determining what the dates are. You show them a unit design for what that actual event should look like. And then that makes it then easy to lead a large team, right? Because then your team will know, okay, on this day, I need to deliver this event. Tendi has already shown me how a CSS event looks like. So I'll just repeat the playbook, right? The guidelines on that, and be able to deliver an event. Okay, that's the purpose of having a chapter, right? To grow leaders here in the work. Okay, so Tendi, let's work on that then. Let's work on getting us a calendar where we can see what the next events look like, and set the framework. Set what kind of programs that you would like to lead your community to understand about fundraising, maybe about investing in cryptocurrency. That's a pretty popular one these days. There's a lot of probably our guests that can be speakers on that. You could also even do intern appreciation day, right? Where you invite the community to meet the interns and the people in the company that are actually working behind the scenes to deliver results. You can also, you can maybe even make it a Bukit Vista open house day, right? Like a Balinese wedding. You just keep a channel open, right, all day, and owners can come into a video room and they can just hang out, and we show them our tools, we show them like our analytics, we show them like how things work. Bila, you had that idea about doing the industry visit at one point, right? Okay, I think the industry visit idea can be actually applied to partners as well, right? Wouldn't partners like to see kind of like what goes on behind the scenes so that they know, what am I paying Bukit Vista for, right? people generally have a better sense of value when they actually can see the production process behind what they actually get. Okay, so that idea that Bila came up with for advocacy can actually be shared across the different squads as well. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that it's up to you, Tendi, how you want to actually program your year. But there's a lot of good ideas I think that you can integrate into your programming for the community sharing sessions. Okay, done. Concluded. So we have some goals now that we'll come back to on the next session. Let's go ahead and do this now. Bila, we can put this away and we'll follow up with this at the next advocacy discussion next Thursday, and I will be in California at that point. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our past discussions and see what we need to follow up with. Bila, I'll let you decide what topic comes first.
Okay, I think this is like the older one. I believe it's already been finished discussed, yeah. And then maybe for Cindy, I guess it's Cindy's apa namanya project. So maybe Cindy can follow up with this.
Okay, let's do this, Bila. Let's have clear visual communication when something is finished. So if the topic on January 6th has been finished, instead of leaving it as follow up, then let's mark it as now finished. Okay, done. Great. Okay, fantastic. Very good. So everyone knows what done is done. Now let's bring up Cindy's topic. Cindy, your floor now.
Okay, so this is actually like this is aligned with my office campaign and also aligned with the IG story that I shared last week. This is actually an older an older project, but we showed the IG story last week. So I already attached the Trello card and the refined guideline over there, and I'm actually started to work on this. I'm started to contacting our interns to read the guidelines and then join the program. I hope by the time the MBKM batch come in, we will have all the resource that we need. So uh, everyone will make a LinkedIn post once or twice per month. Okay, that's it.
Okay, excellent. So let me ask Cindy a question. Cindy, this is so that, let's say, people who are interns will be essentially writing posts on their own about updating during their progress in the MBKM program. Is that correct? Okay, that's
About
great.
their experience in Bukit Vista.
Okay, perfect. That's excellent. Thank you very much, Cindy. I'll bring it back to Bila to continue the discussion.
Okay, so this is the guideline that you attach. Yeah, I don't think it like contain what you've mentioned before. Like, what are you planning to be? I mean, the advocacy campaign. Are you going to put it here, or is it just like masih apa sih namanya arrive idea on your side and you haven't put it anywhere on documentation?
Oh, about the timing or
Yeah,
the once a month. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
actually still consulting with Kak Gandhi whether it should be once a month or once a week because this we have run this before and once a week is overwhelming for the interns. But I don't know. Yeah, once a month I think it will be better because the interns have a lot of tasks too. So I guess I will put it here later to make it once a month.
Okay. So maybe later you can like put your apa ya finished guideline and planning for the LinkedIn advocacy here so that the other can also see. Other than that, I think it's more on the ini ya apa tuh namanya execution sih. When are you
Adoption.
going to start? Yeah, when are you going to start this advocacy in LinkedIn?
I already tried to find some people and some replied, some don't. I am also still trying to get as much people as we can for the pivot, so we can try out the things. Do you want to say something, Mr. Ching?
Okay, I need to refine your goal, Cindy, in this particular case. This is important, everyone, so listen closely. The point of advocacy is not to find as many people as possible. The point of advocacy is finding the right advocate, step one. If you find a lot of people who are not passionate, have nothing to talk about, then you are not actually advocating anything. You are then just spreading. You're forcing somebody who has nothing really to say something, right? And that is never very authentic or truthful. You want to actually know precisely who your advocates are. And it can be zero if you have none. Cindy, it is better to say, nobody really is an advocate now. Maybe we need to improve our experience so that somebody actually wants to advocate something. Okay. The point is not to get many people. Many people only work if you're putting together a party. Okay. But many people don't work if you're putting together a great party. A great party is generally fewer people very into what you're about to do. So that should be your goal. Find the people that really want to say something, that really have something that they're passionate about, that they want to share, that are experiencing positive transformation. Get that out of them and then say, hey, look, I've noticed that during your internship here, you had a really difficult time during your trials, but now it seems like you are doing really good. Is that story inspirational to you? Yeah, that's great. Would you like to share that with anybody else? Yes, I would. That's your advocate, okay? Not the person who's like, I hate Bukit Vista, this place sucks, and now they want me to post on my LinkedIn that this place is great. I'm not going to do that, right? That you don't want, because that doesn't inspire delight. Okay, so remember,
Um,
everyone, for goals, always find your advocate.
Yep, I wanna ask because actually last night I also watched the master class and I find this he who controls the narrative controls reality.
Oh,
And
which masterclass was that?
the black guy storyteller, I forgot the name.
Oh, the Black philosopher.
The black guy, storyteller.
Okay, I think I know the one. Yeah,
Okay,
very good.
yeah, and
Wow, that's
yeah.
Cindy, incredible. That's quite a discovery. Okay, very good.
Okay, and I'm also still trying because I do not really involve with another funnel with another chapter, and I have no visibility on who's transforming well and who's basically who can be my advocate, because I believe that everybody have different steps, have different journeys in here.
Okay, that's a great question. Here, let me put it to the floor. Does anybody remember what the guideline was for finding an advocate? There's, I think, two methods that can be pretty effective for finding an advocate. Does anyone remember what the two methods are?
Active and passive one.
Excellent. Okay, all right. Let's go to Bila. Bila, let's say you were trying to passively find your advocate. Where would you go to actually detect that this person could be a good advocate?
Is it like specifically for this employee funnel, right?
Yes, in this case, we're talking about employee funnel, but let's, okay, we'll talk about partnership funnel to keep Tendi also engaged, but let's talk about employee funnel. Where could we potentially go to find our advocate?
I'm kind of thinking of like our all hands, yeah, because some people are really passionate in all hands, like on filling up their updates and then their motivation, so on and so forth. I think it kind of reflects their motivation as well. So
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent. The all hands is a passive way, everybody, of understanding employee advocacy. If somebody has put down really incredible personal transformations, right? If they put down achievements that are related to their development at work, let's say I knew nothing about SEO when I first started my work at Bukit Vista, but now my pages are ranked #1 on Google. That's an inspirational story. That story should be shared to more people. So that is a potential advocate, right? Before I joined Blue Vista, I was very shy. I couldn't talk to anybody, but now I talk to whoever I want in the world, and they all believe whatever I'm telling them. That's another potential advocate. So that's where you can look for that. Let's go to Tendi. Tendi, let's go to your potential. Let's go to this is step one, right, of advocacy. Where, Tendi, could you go to passively find a potential advocate in the partner community?
Passively, yeah.
Yes,
Facility
passively, without
passive.
asking for one. You're listening for one. Yeah.
Okay, I think from the CSS and then also partner feedback, sir.
Yes, exactly. So remember, all these feedback systems are there for a reason. They're there to help you identify who is a potential advocate. So if a partner writes back in their feedback that, Boogie Vista is awesome. Before I was doing like this, now I'm doing like this. that is your potential advocate, and that is the person you should bring in to speak on behalf of the community. Okay, so everyone understands then, right? There's the active way, which is you just go and ask, right? But when you ask, sometimes you spoil the authenticity, because now you're
Yeah.
saying, hey, look, you're putting a microphone in front of and saying, hey, please say something. So they're like, I have nothing really I want to say, right? So you don't know their intention. But Cindy, you are absolutely correct. Advocacy is about controlling narrative. And if you don't control narrative, what will happen is this. Tendi, remember what happened in Bingen, right?
Yeah.
We didn't. Okay, so for everyone here, this is why we developed this chapter. I'll share a failure story, and hopefully you'll understand why there's PR. We were doing really, really well in a neighborhood in South Bali. Okay, it was called Bingen. We developed that neighborhood, and we first brought it and succeeded with it on Airbnb. We took villas and properties, we marketed it heavily, and we got first page rankings, and the neighborhood was doing really good. There was a few people in the neighborhood who didn't like us. I don't know why, but let's just say they didn't like us. Ultimately, because they wanted to also get into our business. So they started sharing stories about how Bukit Vista was terrible, Bukit Vista was bad, and we were keeping prices low. So what happened over time was all the good things we did, nobody really cared about, but they would just focus on this narrative that Bukit Vista was bad. So we lost control of the narrative, and no matter how much good work we did, it would always be interpreted in a bad way. So part of advocacy and PR, this is one of the crucial lessons, is you need control of the narrative. What is the story? If you have control of the narrative, then whatever you do that's bad can be framed as a stepping stone to do something good. And whatever something you're doing good is an accomplishment and framed in a good way. So Cindy, that is absolutely correct. That is the bigger understanding of why we actually do advocacy, so that our company controls the narrative. And if we control the narrative, people interpret our actions in a positive way. Okay. Now, think about any brand that you respect. They probably control their narrative, right? Their narrative is not told by somebody else, they're told by the people who actually own the brand. But what's smart about PR, what's smart about advocacy is this: you control the narrative not by speaking your narrative, but by getting people who believe in your narrative to speak. Okay, that's different, right? So marketing is speaking your own narrative. It's like, hey, Nike is a great company because Nike does this, this, and this. That's not advocacy. What Nike really does is this: they sponsor sports heroes. And the sports heroes then say, I always wear Nike, and Nike's great. And then people believe it, right? Because they don't believe in Nike, they believe the sports heroes. So LeBron James, whatever, whoever's wearing Nike today, speaking on behalf of Nike, that's what installs this narrative control. So yes, Cindy, that is a very powerful observation, and it is one of the essential purposes of why there's a group doing this and why it's so important. Okay, Tendi, does that make sense?
Yes, sir. I think that's makes sense. Even like for guests as well. I think the most powerful if they see the review on Airbnb, right?
Right.
So if we can control that, I think most of the potential guests they will see the review on Airbnb.
Correct. So the narrative is so important, Tendi. It's almost like when somebody has, let's say, a bad experience, they might actually just wonder whether or not it's themselves that's wrong, right? you know like if the narrative is so powerful that, let's say this: you see all these reviews for a fantastic restaurant in your city. The restaurant's very expensive, but it always gets 5-star reviews. You go to the restaurant and you feel like, you know what? The food portions are really small here, right? I'm not very full. I mean, the food is very colorful. It looks nice, but I end up paying a lot of money. I'm still hungry. So you might actually wonder, maybe it's yourself that's wrong, right? But because the narrative is so strong that this is a good restaurant, that people like, very important people go here and they eat here and they have great experiences here, you might start wondering, maybe I don't understand what a good experience is, right? So that is the power of narrative. That if you have the narrative correct, then even if, let's say, the benefit isn't a clear benefit, people will start perceiving it as a benefit. Here's another example. An iPhone is kind of expensive, right? It's probably one of the more expensive phones out there. But when somebody pays for an iPhone, they don't go, man, I overpaid for this iPhone, right? This thing is not worth this much. They generally say the opposite. they pay a lot, and then even if the iPhone doesn't become anything more than a WhatsApp machine, they still love it, right? Because they're like, oh yeah, like I like the brand, I like the status that it gives me, I like something else about it that has nothing to do with even the functionality of the phone itself. So yes, in a bigger picture way, the narrative is super important, and the reason I'm taking time to explain that is because that is the purpose of having this chapter here. Okay, good discovery, Cindy. Let's keep on going. Um, okay, so Bila, back to you.
Okay then. So like I'd like to conclude maybe then Cindy you can try for this apa namanya for this campaign to find the possible advocate on our all hands first. Maybe next week you can try to like bring this possible advocate here so that maybe we can see and discuss whether these people might be a good advocate for us. How about that?
Okay, sure, can do.
Okay. So basically, maybe that's for this discussion specifically. Is there any more question on this? No? Okay, then I'm going to finish the apa namanya assignment to Cindy later, and going to apa namanya continue the discussion. Then this I believe that this discussion was already discussed last week, yeah.
Iya, iya.
So is there any more follow up for on this or no?
Uh, is it clear, Kak Tandy, the one that I told you, the Canva? Clear, yeah?
Yes, actually, Cindy gave me the template. I made a little modification for the partner. So because mostly our partner using phone, right, and then not like employee using the laptop. I think with the format of the picture that I attached in Canva, maybe if you can open the Canva, I think that will show as well if there's maybe like if the partner when join with us they install Bifigo or something certification that they join, and then we can share, hey, this is our new member or something like that, so we can share on our story. Yeah.
Ya, can you open the access, Kak? I think ini masih requested sih. Okay, so maybe for that, is there any more feedback from Cindy? Have you seen the template maybe or someone else?
I haven't seen the template, sih, but yeah, I haven't seen the template.
Let's take a look
Okay,
at the template.
I need the access first actually.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Tendi, can
Oh,
you
what I
access?
will, yeah, I will give the scroll
One
the
thing I'd like to
link.
point out, Bila, Tendi, that's really good. What Tendi just did was actually a user experience design. So he thought about how the partners actually see the world. They see the world this way, not this way. Most of us, when we work and go about our lives, because I guess, we see it kind of like this way, we see it horizontal. But tend to recognize that partners are using their phones for the most of how they, so then your content should also be formatted in that particular direction. You don't want people going like, having to twist their phones all the time. So that's an astute observation, Tendy. Congratulations. I think that's a good way to really design around user experience.
Thank you. Maybe Bila can scroll down. Yeah, that's like, oh yeah, that's like that. Show on the phone. Yeah, so it's the view is still, we can still view like that. Because if like this, I think it's not too clear like that. I think that's format. So I can send it for the sample to the partner like that.
That's
Okay.
cool.
So
Thank
so for
you.
the partner, you going to send the kayak template posternya instead of di Canva or gimana, Pak?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I send the what's called the picture, so
Hmm.
they can take a picture and then I will post for them, and then also the partner
Oh,
also can post on their channel like that.
oh, I see. So you're the one who editing it, ya?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
But
Like,
who
would it
posted first, Kak?
gimana
Gimana?
sih ini?
Yang who posted first? Is it you or the partner?
Both actually. So the partner also can share on their channel. I think because the partner also have some friend, maybe they also have friend like villa owner or something. I think that can be opportunity as well to introduce us like that.
Okay.
That's a really good question. Oh, Abila, what Cindy just asked is a really good question. Cindy, so let me frame it this way. Everything that we distribute should have two strategies, right? There's a content strategy, so it is what you post, and there's an engagement strategy, which is how people are going to engage with the particular content. A stronger way to even think of it, everybody, is there should only be an engagement strategy. So your engagement strategy then dictates how your content should actually flow. Cindy, I showed you two examples on LinkedIn, right? One type of engagement strategy is like you guys have seen this everywhere. Uh, if you like nasi goreng, vote with a like. If you like mi goreng, vote with a love, right? If you like this, vote with the, like they have all the engagement symbols there, and people then vote. That is really powerful on social media because that kind of stuff just spreads out really quickly across the social network. The other thing that you guys have probably seen are those random questions that people will ask about something, right? They'll say, I believe COVID is a hoax or something, right? Yes, true or false. And then, they that kind of goes and propagates out. So that's content with an engagement strategy built into it. The way that you design content uh, can be like that, or you can post this, Tendi, and then you need to think about, okay, how do I get people to engage with this? Okay, how do I get, let's say, somebody to like it? How do I get somebody to comment on it? How do I get somebody to want to share it? Okay, and then that then goes into two parts. You post the content and you think about how you actually activate the engagement. That's how you activate social media to be your friend and work in your favor. And it's good, Cindy, that
Okay.
you're aware of that, so congratulations.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Jing and Cindy as well for this new information that we got. I want to ask something actually to Kak Tendi. Like, have we start like posting anything from our partner with this template?
Yeah, I have X1 first from the Asri Village owner, because she got the certificate for the fundraising, and then yeah, I had asked her to take a picture, and then she will send me soon like that. And then try this.
Okay, then that will be nice actually. Like, should we like maybe if you already posted it, maybe we can share it here later on, and we can analyze like the engagement as well as
Yep.
how the reaction from the people. Okay, so maybe oops, I'm going to add that later as well. So I guess this discussion will be done. For the next one, Kak Tendi can put the result on the new discussion. Yeah. So that's for the discussion on January 13. And the next one, I think it's a new topic brought up by Kak Tendi. So to Kak Tendi,
Okay, thank you, Cindy. Yeah, actually, I had read some partner story in our website previously, and then yeah, I saw that the story it's mostly like we tell our partner story, but I think the what's called there is no like what the partner said like that about us like that. So I had put two link actually that we can analyze the both format. So there's the one that's the story from us, but it's totally like we tell the good, only the good things like that, like from our side like that. Yeah, I think that's what's called uh still like that. I think I saw it like that. So I think it will be I want to make the story it's more real like that actually, like okay. So like if you can open the second link, I got an example, the Antonio. So yeah, that's as the owner said like this, for example, like if you can go below, to like this, today we meet Antonio, the owner of blah blah blah, and then like and this is, and then offer to Antonio, offer the owner like that. Perhaps the story can be like that. So it's like a from the owner side telling their own story like that, not us telling the partner story like that. So it's more powerful, I think.
Yeah, that sounds like a very nice idea because like it would sounds more genuine, right? Like if we put like the actual quotation, we can say of what their testimony on us. I think that's good one for me. Maybe we can ask the other on the floor here. Yeah, maybe to Cindy first. Maybe what do you think? Which one is a good format?
Yeah, I believe Kak Tandy also know that the second one the is better, yeah, because it's also a part of advocacy. It's get people share the story, not from us.
Okay. Maybe Mr. Lee, you have anything to add on?
No, I'm really proud that Tendi recognized that because Tendi, that's exactly what we were just talking about. That all the best stories, the point of advocacy is not to tell the story in our own voice. It's for the partner to tell the story in their voice. So precisely right. If you want more on this, Cindy, I think you can get together with Tendi to craft narrative. Okay, since you know the power of narrative now, you can think about. I think this problem has been solved before. This is what journalism is. Journalism is the idea of how do you actually tell a story based on fact, based on something that's already happened. And so, Cindy, I think you already understand the principles behind narrative. Why don't you work with Tendi to create a format of what a partner story should look like? It could be like guidelines, right? We break down the stage two into more guidelines. Okay, what's the beginning of the narrative, right? What's the problem that the partner's facing? What's their dilemma? What was their feeling before they met Bukit Vista? What did Bukit Vista do for them, and how are they now? That could be the format of how you actually build a story that tells the mission, the vision of the company, how we inspire delight. Once you've chosen that format as your narrative guideline, you can apply it to every story attendee. You can say like, this is a typical 5-line story. Before Bukit Vista, Pat Nyoman was working as a lobster fisherman. He was making money, but he wasn't sure what to do with it. He looked at his neighbors that were doing really well, and he decided to convert some of his farmland into a building. Once he converted into a building, he realized that he didn't get many guests. So he looked upon and trusted his friend, who was a Bukit Vista partner already. Later on, the friend told him that Bukit Vista was able to fill in the place with quality guests from all over the world. Then Pat Nyoman contacted Bukit Vista, and now he's a happy partner ever after, right? So that's kind of a format following that particular guideline. What was before, what was during, what was after. So then reading the story, what you understand is, I understand the transformation story here. Okay, that's a very simple one, but the more authentic it is, the more real it is, the more powerful it becomes because it becomes very relatable. People read it and they go, "That's me." That's You might also think about this, Tendi. You might think about writing that story in Bahasa Indonesia, right? Because a lot of our
Yes, sir.
owners,
I think that's more easier to
yeah,
understand for the owner because yeah, mostly. So yeah, actually, in the partner story, I would like to tell and motivate actually to motivate. It's not only the owner that already have the building, but also the normal person. Like for example, like okay, uh, the for example the driver, how the driver can be a property owner like that. The transformation of that
excellent.
like they want to get passive income and then they try to collaborate with someone with the architect or something investment or something so I think the unique story can be something different from the others like that.
Excellent. That's truly inspirational, Tendi. Good.
Yeah, I think yeah that I agree with that. Uh, maybe Cindy and Kak Tendi can work on the narrative guideline and